Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Extra podcast. I am here, as always, as one half of your co hosting duo with my partner in crime, Simi. How are you doing, Simi?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. Good to be back for another episode. I'm excited to get through a lot of news this time because we haven't recorded in like
Yeah.
10 days due to certain circumstances, let's say that. But yeah, it's good to be back. How are you doing yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, 10 days is a long time now that things are starting to speed up at the end of the mercato and the season has finally started. So
Yeah.
it's going to be good. It's going to be a good episode. I'm really excited to talk about some of the things that we were able to see and follow this weekend. I'm so glad club football is back. But before we get into it, if you want to tell the people what they are supposed to do and where to go.
Yeah, guys, you already know before the episode starts, if you want to share the episode with your friends, share the link on whatever platform you're listening to or on YouTube and get people to tap into the podcast. Like, subscribe. You already know what to do. Hype if you're on mobile. And follow us on Twitter or on Insta. It is inter_extra. And on the different podcast platforms, make sure you give us a good rating as well. And yeah, comment down below any thoughts on anything we talk about as per usual. The hot topics, the new signings. Should there be more signings? Should there be departures? Let us know, guys, and we'll be reading the comments as per usual. But yeah, Sean, you are back for your segment because the games are back. So
Mhm.
I
Oh
say we jump
yeah,
straight into the games.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Look, it's incredible because 10 days ago it was no one's playing, and now 10 days later all four teams that we are covering have played. So of
I know,
course we're going to
right?
start with the women's team. It's they've got it coming thick and fast right now. But we'll start with just their first game of the season in the Women's Cup. Of course, the kind of the preseason cup style, Champions League style round robin tournament that they do. They, yeah, started off with a 1-0 win over Parma, which is a good start. Obviously, I think they'd probably be shaking off some cobwebs as well, coming off preseason and things. So
Yeah.
we'll see how this team can do because after their second place finish last season, they're gonna have some more games coming up soon. But we'll get that into that later.
Yeah.
Then again, first game of the season for the Primavera. They won 1-0 over Genoa. Goal from a new name, not a name that I've seen before. I'm not following them very well recently because a lot of the players that I know are now up in the 120 into the U23 teams or um, or loaned out. So let's see. Yeah, sorry, jeez, it's
Don't
not
worry.
showing me. Last name Carrara.
Christian
So
Carrera, I think. I think that's his name. But I did see
okay,
that I did see the goal as well. So if you guys want to go watch the highlights, I think they're on the Inter website as per usual. But yeah, very happy. Solid start. Go watch the highlights if you can.
yeah. Did you you said you caught the game a little bit. Were you impressed? No, you didn't. You
No,
didn't.
just the
That
highlights.
was
Just the goal.
just the highlights. Okay. Yeah, moving on to the next team, the U23 team. I think that you did actually catch more of this game.
Yeah.
2-1 win over Catania.
Mhm.
Great way to start the season. Goals from Maye and a penalty from Mosconi before a late charge from Catania. I believe that was a middle of the second half goal. Pull
It
one
was, yeah.
back. Yeah, 65th minute. So
Yeah.
if you want to give a little bit more on what you noticed from this team that is now very heavily into youth products, filling this
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys even noticed this that much last season. You did notice this season if you looked at the first starting 11 compared to last season. There was a lot of low knees in that team last season, and we didn't realize. Players like Cinquegano, who plays with Sassuolo in the Serie A now, he might leave, but still, made that jump straight up, right? And he was solid. And then you have players like Antonio David, who we, only signed on loan, or Lagumina, who went back to Sampdoria. Like players that were obviously there just to fill up the squad because it was the first season and you knew it was going to be a little bit of a transitioning season because you weren't ever going to be able to bring all of the Primavera players up at once, right? I have the starting 11 right here because Thomas Cole tweeted it with the full-time result. And this is a strong starting 11. I said this when the lineup came out. This is a strong team, you know. Obviously, Presti is still there, Fiordilino's still there. You still need that core of experienced players, but it's getting a little less, right? And that is a great sign. And obviously, Mosconi scored a penalty. I thought of that penalty scored in preseason against City, right? Definitely a good sign. And then Maye, we'll talk about him later. He's looks like he's on his way out. And yeah, if you ask me for my thoughts, honestly, I watched like a good 20, 25 minutes of the game. First of all, Agbonifo came on late on. Great signs. Lavelli, very good, in my opinion. Hold up play, very good. And kind of gives me Pio vibes, but obviously he's a little leaner. But he does the same type of like movement, shielding. It looks good. And then, yeah, nothing else really to say. Mancuso, you can tell he's still adapting a little bit from the jump from Primavera to, professional football. But there's a player there for sure. And then obviously Mosconi. Marello looked really good as well, really active on the left-hand side. You can't tell that he's 2008, genuinely. He's very good. So, yeah, but highlights are also there. 5 minutes long if you guys want to watch on YouTube. Very happy,
awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy that he's that some of these guys are just ready to just make the jump up. They're showing their quality immediately. It's awesome. But we'll move on to the last game, of course, the senior team with a emphatic opening weekend win, first game of the Serie A season, back with a 4-1 win over Monza. Just my thoughts quickly on the game. It's the first game of the season. So that first half was, that's right, it's no longer preseason. It's the real season. It's the Serie A season back again.
Yep.
An absolute screamer from Hakan, which was incredible, but some just lackadaisical defending from Akanji to get turned like that. And yeah, the game's faster now. People are going to be trying a little bit harder now. So it's the second half, of course, was a great response to that little bit lazy first half. But what a performance from both Pio and Andy Doof. Like, those are the only two that I really need to highlight. Everybody else was good to decent, but those two started out the season on fire. So I don't know. What else did you want to add to that?
Not really much. I did want to just mention that we also had a preseason friendly, but since we last recorded, because we recorded the day before the Real Betis game, which was a 1-0 win, thanks to John Stones getting his first unofficial goal. But what I did want to say is that Pio, wow, man, wow. Pio, like, literally just doing this to the back of the goal the whole time, like holding up defenders, like, bro, I love this type of striker. Like, these type of strikers, it's incredible, man, incredible. Because hold up play to me, like, I even play like that in FIFA. Like, not that it's relevant, right? But this is how I play. So I love these type of strikers. I love these type of strong. You can let the defender know you're there. You're not getting close to me. What a performance for me, man of the match. I already said this, and yeah, Juve also really good. He's showing Spence that you're gonna have to work hard as well. You can't just like do nothing. And yeah, also I do want to say, I don't know if you were gonna say this anyway, Alexander Stankovic official debut, bro. Almost shed a tear, man. Almost shed a tear, and I'm sure he did as well. It was good to see, even if it was just like
iconic Stankovic 5. It's incredible to see
it makes
him.
sense. It makes sense. I'm sure for some of the older Interisti, it's also something where it's like, damn, like I used to watch Dejan Stankovic week in, week out, and now his son's on the pitch. I feel like that's something that is definitely a crazy feeling. But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It looks great on him, and as much as it's charity minutes, hopefully there's going to be more than just charity minutes the next few weeks, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And then we also had obviously the new signings, which we're about to get into, Djed, Spence and Curtis Jones, who were dripped out at the Merza. I even saw Curtis Jones's girlfriend. She put a vlog out on TikTok if you guys want to watch it, of like behind the scenes, like how the VIP area looks and whatnot. So pretty sick stuff. But yeah, that is everything regarding games, unless you want to say anything else about the Monza game.
No, just also that John Stones got his official debut as well with
True.
Alexander Stankovic after that goal. So he had a good run out. Hoping to see more of him and what he can actually do. We'll see. He's been here for 2 weeks, so it's not much to talk about, but
Yeah.
we'll see what he looks like the more time he can build chemistry with his teammates. So
I think he had one run forward as well, right? At some point, where he had like a little chance to like square it, I think. But clearly, he's already like. I mean, we know he's a competent player, but he's trying his best to already fit in. So good to see. Yeah, no, thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot about John Stones. Sorry, John. And then, yeah, loan watch is something that I also wanted to cover. There's a couple of loanees in Serie B that had like a few minutes, but nothing crazy. The important part is that today, Lazio beat Bologna away 1-0. And then afterwards, Roma beat. Who are they playing again? Roma were playing someone. Fiorentina, thank you. Roma beat Fiorentina. Daniel Marlon hat trick, by the way. They're looking scary. But regardless, Davide Fratesi came on, saw the final 36 minutes of action, and scored the winner and got the Man of the Match award. He is excited. I saw his Instagram post also. He's emotional. You see Gattuso here. Fair enough, man. You can't be unhappy for him. You have to, this is his boyhood club. Fair play, man. Fair play. Good to see him.
And if you don't like him, you better be hoping that he does well this season as well, so that he stays at Lazio.
Exactly. You have to hate watch, but I love watching. So you kind of have to be smart about this one. But yeah, happy for him. And also something I wanted to mention is there was a preseason friendly between Real Madrid and Schalke 04. And Denzel Dumfries, Robin Gosens. Who said Robin? Was that me? I think I tweeted. Robin Gosens, sorry. And Edin Dzeko reunited. And wow, man, this is 22-23 heritage right here in this picture. Yeah, man, this is good to see. And they clearly still have the love for each other. So yeah, but moving into official announcements, guys, we have two official transfer announcements in the last 9 to 10 days. I cannot believe it, guys. Djed, Spence, and Curtis Jones. Oh, wrong tweet. Curtis Jones. 2 extra English players shown. I know the comments cooked you last time because you were so arrogant, they said, towards the Englishman. I don't know if you want to explain yourself a little bit. I don't know if you have something to say regarding that as well. Obviously, we know it's just banter towards a specific level, but I don't know if you want to add something to that.
No, I think it's hilarious that they said that I was arrogant towards the English players when that is the epitome of any English media and any English player and Premier League fans. So I think I'm hitting the nail on the head then, acting like a Premier League fan. You finally see what it's like to deal with you guys. Anyway, to that point, Kivu wanted these guys. They weren't the first options. I mean, Curtis Jones was Kivu's first option, probably was his first player that he ever asked for. He asked for him last January. So I'm glad that he's getting the players that he's asking for. And what it looks like is that I actually think that after Palestra, Djed Spence was his second choice. I think Kalaili was the management and the sporting project's second choice because he matched more Palestra's profile.
Yeah.
But Djed Spence might have been actually what Kivu wanted. So
Premier League intensity, right? What we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So regardless of what I think, and I would rather not have any English player at my club ever, but I'm glad Kivu's getting what he wants. And of course, I don't ever want any Inter player to fail. I don't want them to play poorly. So I'm hoping that they do well. And, the better they do, the sooner they leave.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. The last line took me out. I'm with you on Spence. Again, I said this last episode. I think you already talked about him last episode. There was we definitely did. There was the comparison I made that he's similar to Denzel Dumfries. I don't actually think he's that similar. If you consider defensively, for example, because Denzel was the player that was attacking the line, the right hand side. Spence's strength is defense and defending 1v1s, right? the Djed Spence penitentiary is not there for nothing. You know, he has
Mhm.
those like Aaron Wan-Bissaka spider legs that you just can't get past. You know, so in that sense, I do think, like I said, it is the Premier League intensity that Christian Kivu asked for. And something I forgot to show is that he has the number 99. Some people were thinking it's just a placeholder. He's actually going to wear the number 99. I don't know why he would want to take Taremi's number, but sure. And that's the...
And Pinamonti.
And Pinamonti, bro. He's going to have to save the reputation of that number, but, you know. There was a list of... Someone tweeted a list of, like, players that have previously had the number 99. I think it was Daniele Mari. Very interesting list. So, yeah, he can only do better than them. And yeah, so for Spence, I'm happy with the signing. Again, I think he has room to grow in the attacking department. I think we all know that, but it's good to see that there's a player that can clearly fill that spot and can compete with Andy Drew, what I mentioned earlier. So they can only push each other. Hopefully, it's that healthy competition. They push each other, and they both get like equal amount of playing time, and then
can learn from each other because they're complete opposites in the same position.
And whatever the situation needs, you know, let's say you need a more attacking minded player on the right hand side. Not that Spence can't do that, and not that Drew can't defend, but you can kind of adapt it based on how you want. And I think he likes having that flexibility because he seems that type of coach. So it's good to see. And then also on Curtis Jones, I have some details of the deal because we didn't even cover him last episode because obviously there was no like attempt for him. It all happened pretty quick. It is 30 million, which is very cheap, plus 4 to 5 million in bonuses. Obviously, that can be easy, that can be difficult. We don't really know. And then 10% on a resale, which isn't too high. So you're still, you know, getting a lot of money if you do sell him on back to the Premier League, maybe, or La Liga in 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows? But this is a good deal considering what Liverpool wanted earlier. Considering the fact that he was out of contract next year, still very expensive. But you need to realize that this is Kivu's dream player. He wanted him, and he wanted him now. So this is probably as best as they could negotiate it down, honestly. I'm even surprised 30 million is the base fee. I thought it was going to be 35 plus 5. But yeah, that's the base fee. I don't know if you want to add anything to... Yeah.
I just, I said it, I think it was 2 episodes ago. If there was one deal that I was okay with the management taking their time and waiting, it was this one because Curtis was obviously waiting for Inter. But also he's a signing for the future. He wasn't a signing that needed to be brought in as soon as possible. That right wing back needed to be filled. The center back needed at least someone to rotate in. So we needed another body in the back. So obviously wasn't a priority. And he's not, the English mold of player. He's a Scouser, first of all. So he's he's close to me. Exactly. Scout's not English. And so, but then he's so technical. He's of course got the Premier League enough of that pace and power that you need so that they can accept you as a player. But he's technically gifted. So I think he's going to be a good addition to this midfield, not only now, but into the future. And he can play deeper, advanced at the 8 Mezzala, like all of these places. He's adaptable. So it'll be good.
Yeah, very much. And this is the thing that I wanted to mention as well, because I know I've previously said, why do we need a 7th midfielder? I think people realize that Mkhitaryan is literally only there for the dressing room. Like, I'll be surprised if he gets more than like 1,000 minutes, like even like 800 minutes this season, because he's literally only there to help like gel the squad together a little more, because he's been here for a few seasons. He's literally only playing this last season and he's done. Like, to me, he's the 7th midfielder, and then you have to see everyone else as like 1 to 6. Obviously not in a specific ranking, but like it doesn't really, like Mkhitaryan doesn't really count. So if we just had him as a 6th midfielder, and then imagine you get an injury, it would have been kind of difficult. Do I still think we could have like filled the spot up with Topalovic? Probably, right? But I don't think the management are quite ready for that risk yet, and I think he's going to leave on loan or like on a buyback. Hopefully, he finds a good club to play for the new season. I think he's too good for Serie A, honestly. But that's besides the point. I think Curtis Jones was important at the end to sign a 6th midfielder that's actually strong. So, yeah. So much on that, just to like not contradict myself from what I said previous episodes. It kind of makes more sense. But something that we had last episode, we also asked Luca this regarding another Luca Reggiani, who has been confirmed to, I guess, be on Inter's radar by Sky Sports in Germany, right? And I think it came from Bild, the first rumor, and then now it's confirmed. I don't know what a possible deal would even look like. It would probably be something like loan him. Someone said loan him for 2 years. I think 2 years is a bit too much, but you could do like 18 months or 12 months. So like a whole season back to Dortmund, and then you can say, okay, maybe Pavard leaves, and then you bring him in, and you have Borvio as well. Then you have like 7 center backs again, something like that. I can imagine Inter doing. But it's an interesting player again, someone to monitor. If you guys want to watch Dortmund during the season, and the interest comes back in the winter, why not? Why not? Even if you close a deal in January and then you say you leave him on loan for another 6 months, see how he does the next 6 months, because obviously he's kind of new. Again, he's not at the top of the ranking like order in terms of Dortmund's centre back ranking. So, he needs a little bit more playing time, I feel like, to be like, okay, you go for this player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm with you. It's not really a priority to me, especially with how quickly Bovio has kind of exploded into the team, and the promise that the club has for him. So, yeah, whatever the club does with that, by all means. So we'll see what happens coming by the end of the window. And then, of course, if we don't do anything by the end of the window, you know how the Ausilio list works. You're going to see his name another time at some point in the next few years. So,
yeah. In 4 years, guys, we're signing him. And
yeah.
then there was I don't even know if I want to call it a rumor, but it was clearly rumored enough for Fabrizio to deny it. There was talks of Carlos Augusto being involved in a swap deal for Nico Gonzalez, so with Juventus, right? And there's no confirmation. I don't know. You guys can look it up yourself. There was 1 or 2 journalists that tweeted about this. I think it's hilarious. Like, I don't know who comes up with these rumors. Genuinely, I don't know, because this makes no sense. Like, for either side, maybe for Juventus a little more, but for Inter it doesn't make sense at all. This is your 6th centre back. Like, what are you doing? So just disregard that.
It's putting things out there
Just for the sake of it. Yeah, we know how this goes, guys. And then something that this is a little more interesting, because this is kind of like, I don't want to say caused a clash, but it's been a little bit of a back and forth. First, it was Pasquale Guerrero who came out saying that Inter wants a striker, so a 5th striker, right? Looking for a forward with similar characteristics to Thuram, pace, dribbling, and technically sound. I think Fabrizio Biasin said something like similar to Alexis Sanchez also, which is interesting, because they haven't had a profile like that in a few years. But he first said that names could already emerge in the next hours. No names emerged, which is funny. And then Gianluca Di Marzio said that Inter remain on the lookout for an attacker with different characteristics, whatever that means. And it's not easy with 8 days left in transfer window, obviously, right? But the interesting part is that, like I said, Fabrizio Biasin said that signing a 5th attacker is currently not in Inter's plans and would only take away space from the 4 players in the department. And then he's put on another tweet earlier today, guys. If you want to read it, it's somewhere in his profile. It's like a reply, basically saying that Inter are not in a rush and they don't need a 5th attacker. The board is happy with the 4 strikers. Now, I don't understand why. First of all, I don't understand why these rumors are there, because I don't understand why you would need a 5th attacker. I don't know if you have different thoughts on this. I don't think we need one at all. I don't think there's any need, specifically if either Lavelli or Idrisu remain at the club. But I don't think it's needed, because then you're limiting Boni, Pio, not just their development, but also like they need to learn. They need to
there's
learn
no
under
point
Lampard.
there's no point in you have 2 positions. You have the 4 players to rotate those 2 positions. Do you need a 5th player to rotate those 2 positions? No, not necessarily. It only makes sense if the profile is actually different from all 4 strikers. A winger, a 10, someone that's completely different. But that's not what they said. They said someone that's similar to Thuram, which isn't that Boni. It doesn't make sense. None of this is typical Mercato BS, but Yeah, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the Biasin tweet because I want to see it again because it was a really interesting reply. It's only happening if someone leaves. Like obviously, if someone like we'll talk about Bondi later, someone like that leaves, then you bring in another fourth attacker, obviously. But let's satisfy the squad. Everyone has their role. Everyone has their, how do I say this, like responsibility. And if you bring in a fifth striker, it's just I don't understand. But that's the situation with that. Again, I'm more on Biasin's side. I don't see it happening because it doesn't make sense simply because of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, then going on to, that's everything for incomings, guys. Going on to departures. A few official ones. Thomas Berenbruch has joined Avellino on loan from Inter under 23 with the option to buy. I think we had something like this in the last episode already, some rumors. This is the official confirmation. I wish he went to Utrecht. I 100% believe he would have been good enough to play in the Belgian league, Austrian league, Swiss league, Dutch league. I don't know why you go to Serie B. You're like, I know I say the phrase a lot, but you're nuking your career. Like,
Yeah.
with all due respect to Avellino, but if you go to Utrecht, you can have a similar path to Stankovic because he can prove himself there. He's good enough to prove himself there. And then you can
Yeah.
come back, you know? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he could have had a better choice of clubs, but that's one departure.
Look,
And then, actually, you go first.
what the thing is that I need you out on the streets. I need you asking people. Like, hey, you got people around Utrecht that can answer this question. What was the formula that they wanted?
I don't know.
I have to have those questions because it's got to be the stubbornness of this management of refusing to let these players leave to something that's not as beneficial to them.
Like
Right.
buyback
I
clauses, you mean?
guarantee he's going to Serie B because they did a dry loan and they're going to get him back next year. And
Yeah.
they can, protect all their cards instead of trying to let a player develop and flourish. So, you've got a ton of midfielders that are going to be here next year. Is Thomas Berenbruch really going to be at Inter next year? Right. Why don't you let him play somewhere and get first division senior team minutes somewhere else? But regardless, anyway.
That's why I would have done, like I said, sell him and get buyback for the next 2-3 summers, or just
Yeah.
loan him for 18 months, 2 years. What's the harm? Genuinely, what's the harm? He's
Yeah.
not going to play in Inter's midfield in 27, 28. He's not. That's just a fact. So I don't know why we're doing that. Anyway, I'm with you. I'm fully with you. And I don't know what happened. So I can't just go to Utrecht and ask people, but I understand the frustration. Speaking of departures, Manuel Pinotti has joined Cerignola, who are in Serie C, and he was still in Inter Primavera, I believe. So I don't even think he played for the under 23 much, but he's also loaned out now. And wait, did it say loaned out or did he join them permanently? Oh no, dry
Dry
loan.
loan.
Sorry, thank you. And that's everything for official departures for now. We'll get into some rumors later, but regarding Luis Enrique, last week there was still a lot of talk that, first of all, this came that Christian Kivu told him that his time is over, or I guess it's better to part ways. I don't know how he said that. I would love to know. But he's destined to leave Inter. That's what was said on August 19th. We are now on August 24th at the time of recording. And then the last few days, it just kind of faded. There was reports saying that once Rodrigo Mora is signed from Porto, who he played today as well, that kind of unlocks the deal for Luis Enrique because it's the next deal that was in the pipeline. But it didn't even happen. And then people were saying,
Yeah.
it's either him or Wesley Fofana. And then Wesley Fofana also didn't happen, but also Luis Enrique didn't happen. So I don't really know what the magic is behind that. Regardless, he is not leaving. So he's 99% looking to stay right now. And he also played against Monza, right? He came on. And again, had his usual 6 out of 10 performance, but he's there and he's looking to stay. I don't know let me know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was conversations had, but until until you see something a little bit more concrete in the wording that they used, um, other than, oh, they're going to move for him at the end of the mercato, none of that means anything to me. So I'm not surprised. I think he's going to play on the left a lot more this season now that we have the guys on the right, to the
Rightfully
two
so.
on the right. Yeah. And I think Augusto is going to play a lot more in the back three.
Yeah. And theoretically, if it doesn't work for him on the left side, I do think Luis Enrique is better on the left-hand side. You can still give Augusto that double backup role. I think he's more than ready to play that. I'm sure he'll be fine with that. And then you just play Luis Enrique less, or you loan him out in the winter, sell him in the winter. You can always do that. Bring someone up from the under 23s. Bring Marello up from under 23s. Like, it's not like you have to stick like with this squad for the whole season. You can change this in the winter. Before the crucial phase, you can kind of do your how do I say this? Like a little bit of rotating the squad, or not rotating. Sorry, like changing up the squad or fine tuning, as I like to say. So yeah, this is not like a definite thing. I would just think, for now he'll stay, and then yeah. But I'm with you. And then literally 1 or 2 days after, we got rumors of Alexander Stankovic possibly leaving because of the Curtis Jones arrival. He risks having less space in midfield. Well, obviously, right? And apparently teams like Torino would instantly take him on loan, but the player has refused everything so far. Good, rightfully so.
Good. Yep.
And then Fabrizio Biasin basically confirmed that he's staying, right? And this got 1K likes, rightfully so, because this is great news. And I'm happy that he's like this adamant on playing and like making a name for himself and fighting for that spot in midfield. I said this before, people don't realize that, yes, Zielinski can play Regista, but this is Hakan's backup. If Hakan gets injured, Stankovic steps in. He has the Champions League experience. He's good enough to play Serie A. There's nothing that says, you can't just throw him into the midfield and he's not going to do a good job. He's going to do a good job. And I'm very happy to, like I said, see him have his debut, and very happy that he's decided to stay.
Me too. Nothing to add.
And then on the topic of Registas, Cristian Asllani to Monza, obviously we've talked about it for like 2 months almost now, is not a done deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. The midfielder will certainly leave Inter before the transfer window closes and is still evaluating his options. Someone said the other day that he was rejected Real Betis and Bologna last season or last transfer window in the summer. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake, because then you get loaned out to like God knows where, right?
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, you absolutely did. So hopefully the choice now is something that's like actually valuable for his career. He's not getting any younger, so you kind of have to like make a choice that maybe it was also sustainable for the future beyond just a loan, beyond just a buy option, somewhere where you can get continuous playing time, because it's not going to be here.
Yeah.
On the same topic, because he was also linked with Monza, Yannis Massolin remains on his way out, but they have cooled their interest, so Monza have cooled their interest, and there are now 3 Ligue 1 clubs that are following him, Nice, Angers, and Troyes, which is... Honestly, Nice would be nice to, no pun intended, to be, a destination where he actually plays regular football. I don't know if he would play regular football, but it's a club where, you've seen players come through before. The last one I remember from midfield is Kefren Turam, who came through Nice. So it would make sense. And I think that's even a similar profile, Yannis Massolin, kind of a Kefren Turam type of player. And it would be good to see him play for a team like that. Other 2 teams, not really the top level, but if Nice want to come for him, sure. I'm more than happy to send him there. And it's better than Monza, if I'm honest. Also he's in his home country. It makes sense.
Yeah, and if I'm thinking correctly, if I remember how these teams played correctly last season, how they placed, Angers and Nice, he'll get good playing time in teams that are competent, that aren't struggling the whole season.
Yeah.
So, it'll be good. Take those, especially in a country like where you're from, language you understand, culture you understand. Just make it easier on yourself. And and the Premier League scouts look at Liga all the time.
Yeah, give me that
these
Premier League money,
Yeah,
money.
they call themselves a league of talents, so yeah, go over there and show off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see those rumors. Hopefully something facilitates in the last few days. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we'll update you guys. And then something that I want to mention that I just had to laugh at. There was reports out of Spain that because Julian Alvarez is locked up and thrown into a prison cell in Atleti, that they were
On a
looking
certain
to
side of Madrid.
they were looking to sign Lautaro Martinez instead. At the first second I saw it, I just laughed. I hope you guys did the same. I know you guys did the same. Because as expected, everyone came out and said he's not for sale. Inter captain is considered untouchable by the club. All that good stuff. You guys already know. Like, this was never happening. I don't need to explain why. We don't need to add anything to this. It's just laughable.
Yeah.
Like, sure, he's on the list of everyone, but that's normal for
You want
top
to know how
players.
strong of a no this was? It was really funny to see this. I know how much the Italians and a lot of Inter fans don't like Oak Tree, and understandably so. But the fact that the news outlets came out, and not only was it like Beppe Ausilio and the club say that no, Lautaro's not for sale. He's our captain. He's staying here. He is a symbol of Inter. But the fact that they said Oak Tree don't want to sell him, they consider him an important part of what Inter is, and
Yeah.
like the being the face of Inter. I thought, good lord, even the propaganda for Oak Tree is running for Lautaro Martinez. So
Yeah.
like that's a strong stance to hear everybody from top to bottom from an ownership, that cares about numbers, to even say, no, the numbers don't matter here. The
You
captain
say
matters
no.
most of
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Like, if Catherine Ralph says 500 million wouldn't get Lautaro out of my
Mhm.
no, it's not even a club. What do they say? What do they call it if Oak Tree own Inter? They
An
like
asset.
an asset. Yeah, you're not leaving
Mhm.
my asset. You're not leaving my yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to see it from them also, to hear the no from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, it was never happening. And then what I mentioned earlier regarding possible striker departure again, I don't think this happens. But Fiorentina has Andrea Boni on their list should Moise Kean join Como. Again, this is a domino effect that even then it might not still happen. But because obviously there's a list, right? And I think Andrea Boni would be harder to get than other names that they have on their list. I don't know who else is on their list. I wouldn't know. But this makes sense because he is a player that I think would suit them a lot. And obviously they're completely rebuilding right now. They have like 5 or 6 new transfers in their starting 11. But obviously no one really knows if Inter would be open to transfer. And my personal feeling is they wouldn't be, but I don't think this is happening regardless. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I think once again, it's hard to replace a player this late into the window. Um,
Yeah.
you need, especially this management, they need time to evaluate their options. So, opportunities that come, they'll take them when it comes to their surplus, and like we talked about the fifth striker. This is not something that they would do. They're not selling a player that they want to keep this late into the window. So I don't see
Yeah.
it happening. They're probably going to make their interest known, make some inquiry, and move on to the next target after that.
Yeah. I also don't think that he would be affordable for Fiorentina. As much as they've been splashing money, I think Boni would cost like minimum like 35, 40, 45, if not
Yeah.
more. And, you'd have Premier League sides that would pay that probably if he was on the market. He's not, right? But you probably would
Mhm.
have if Premier League sides were to come for him. So I also don't think it's happening. I do think Moise Kean is going to join Como, though. I think it makes sense. Also because Fabregas is pushing, and apparently the players also pushing would be an interesting move because then Como are a serious, serious team.
Yep.
But yeah, because they do need a striker. And it looks like Sebastiano Esposito is going somewhere else, which I also hope. By the way, guys, I know we haven't mentioned it, but we still have the 40% sell-on clause. So any money that Cagliari make off the sell goes towards Inter, almost like half of it, because apparently Torino interested, Sassuolo, Napoli. I don't know if Atalanta are still interested, but I would send him to Atalanta or Como or Napoli. Don't go to Torino.
Yep.
Don't go to Sassuolo, please. Just wanted to throw that out there also. But yeah, And then on some under 23 rumors, this is from the last like 24 hours, literally. Shout out to Luca Bendoni and the Di Marzio team that, brought this up again or came out with these news. Ivan Maillet to Monza is now a done deal. We got the first news-ish, 24, 48 hours ago. He had his medicals today already, and he scored for the under 23 side. Obviously, mentioned it earlier in their game yesterday. So, yeah, was it yesterday?
Yep.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and now today he's doing his medicals. So, shout out to him. What a 24 hours for him. But good luck to him. Also, Serie A experience. Good to see. This is what we need more of, So, yeah. And something that I wanted to mention also, since we're on the under 23 topic-ish, kind of, we said that we want to see more of the deals like Ayman Zouin, who is going to Parma. Now, Ayman Zouin isn't actually at Parma anymore because he's getting loaned out to Casa Pia in the Portuguese league, which I don't know if you've heard of that, Sean, but that to me makes no sense because we were also excited to see him in Serie A, and now he's joining a Portuguese league side. I think. I don't know if it's fully done yet, but that just ruined the whole point. Like, you sell him to Parma and you loan him out. I don't know if that was agreed, but I don't like it at all.
I mean, look, it's still
first division football.
Top division. Yeah, it's still first division football. In a league that's going to be and maybe a team that's not as worried about, well, sheesh. 3 games in, they haven't even scored a goal.
That's sick. That's why they signed him.
But yeah, I mean, maybe a league that's a lot more open to playing youngsters to trust them to save them from relegation than Parma, who, yeah, I guess they evaluated him. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to fit their system if they're going to try and treat their wingers and their forwards as either wing backs or more inverted centralized attackers. So it's a good thing to go to a league that he will still play, but maybe can fit his profile a little bit better. So we'll see. First division football, again, he's going to be playing against tough teams like Porto, Sporting, Benfica, Braga.
In a lesser team, yeah. And I just hope it's not a situation of, if you remember, Isiaka Kamate went on loan to some random Portuguese team, also in the first division, in the first half of the 24-25 season, and he played 8 games. I don't know if you remember that. That was really frustrating. Yeah, because he went to Modena the second part of the season then, and then he obviously had the year with the under 23s. I don't want to see that. So hopefully it works out better than that.
Yeah.
But speaking of, as I just used them as an example, Isiaka Kamate. So Espanyol Barcelona have contacted Inter again regarding the midfielder, but the negotiations are still not close to being finalized, and they want to know what's going on though. So they're knocking on Inter's door, are we getting the player? And there's strong competition and other offers also, but Inter in a hurry, obviously, because the window's closing soon, and you don't want to sell him last minute. So I hope a good deal comes out of those negotiations as well. But it makes sense that why there's a lot of clubs interested in it.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good with that. So hopefully that gets done quickly.
Yeah,
he's technical enough to be
in Spain. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, be in Spain. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then this has made me very mad, guys. Jamal Idrissou has been linked to Modena, not necessarily because Inter have offered him or anything. They have requested him. I'll politely decline the request. You can go to a Bundesliga side. You mentioned this Bundesliga. Luca talked about it on the last episode. Something like that. Even PSV came in, according to Nicolas Siro, if you guys remember. Why not a side like that? Please don't go to Serie B. At that point, just stay at under 23. Even then, you're too good for that. Go to a first division club somewhere across Europe, but don't go to Serie B, please.
You could even go to Casa Pia.
Go to Casa Pia, sure. Team up with Ayman Zouin. I've never watched a game of Casa Pia in my life, but just go, do something, but don't go to Serie B, please.
Yeah.
And then the final player that I wanted to talk about is Matteo Lavelli. Obviously, I mentioned him earlier. I think he had a decent few actions during the under 23 game that was happening yesterday. So there's 3 sides that are interested: Bari, Juve Stabia, and Empoli. And there's other Serie B and Serie C sides that are monitoring him as well. And Inter under 23 want to keep the forward with the idea of giving him some first team minutes. This is the 5th attacker, realistically. If you play him in the cup games, if you play him in the lower Serie A games, give him a few 15 or 30 charity minutes, it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. This is your 5th attacker. Like, that's the whole point. I would keep him. I would loan or sell Idrissou with a buyback. Problem solved, in my personal opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
And then on under 23, staying on under 23 topic, Inter have extended the contracts of Mike Adu and Gabriele Garonetti on a multi-year basis. Obviously, 2 young Italian centre backs. Well, not centre backs. Adu is more like a right wing back or right back. But yeah, they have been extended. Obviously, he played Youth League last season, and Adu was loaned out to Pergoletese. He's not back. I think he might get loaned out again, but we haven't heard anything, so maybe he actually stays with the under 23 side. We'll see. And also contract extended is Pio Esposito. His contract's going to be done soon. Not official yet, but it's like basically done. The formal steps are done, that's what they said. And yeah, he's going to be earning slightly more than 2.5 million a year, plus some bonuses until 2031. You're locking him down. No Premier League clubs touching him. He's untouchable anyway. So very happy with this contract extension. And then something I really want to point out is, according to Pasquale Guaro, I know you want to say something on this as well. Leonardo Bovio, baby Acerbi, right? Really impressed during preseason. The club sees great personality and a bright future in him. Inter also secured him with a new contract before the training camp, and the club have decided that he will be a consistent part of the first team, right? Look at that, bro. He has the manners of a 35-year-old Italian defender, bro. Shirt tucked in, pointing at Çalhanoğlu, who could be his dad, to go somewhere else. Like, this is what we need as a centre back, bro. This is exactly what we need, and I know you're also happy about this.
I am. I love it so much. He deserves the trust and the faith in him. He will get the most minutes out of all of the youngsters that have been put into the team list, and I know that getting Serie A minutes, Serie B loan would be better than staying with the U23 team, but realistically, he's at an age where learning and training with the first team and then playing in Serie C against professionals, fully grown
men, yes,
yeah, is going to also be an incredible development season for him. I think that there's a possibility that he actually fills in as one of the 6 center backs starting next season instead of being a U23 player and training with the first team this season. So I think it's great. He is 18, guys. I know we want to trust youth, but it's the fact that Inter never wanted to play anybody under the age of 24 that was frustrating when players at 21 can show you that they're capable. I mean, Barella was starting week in, week out at 22. You know, nobody was complaining about his age then. So that's kind of like, we can also be patient. There is a balance that needs to be had between the two that we have, and it's going to be good. This is going to be good for Bovio, and I hope because he's being able to stay that we will get to see him and he will shine in those moments that Kivu picks for him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say as well, basically. And just to add to what I said earlier with Luis Enrique potentially leaving in the winter, I feel like clubs are going to come in again for him. You can sell him and then have Bovio step up, put Carlos Augusto back at left wing back, maybe even try Marello. Try Marello and Bovio. You have the option to give these kids a chance, and then to, if he plays for 6 months in the under 23 side, you can move him up in January and make him a consistent part and give him serious minutes. Again, guys, we're not talking about charity minutes here. We're not talking about charity minutes. We're talking about actual serious, like, you're playing big game, obviously not super big games, but you're playing serious games, maybe even starting, because you're proving that you're ready for that level. And that's why I'm saying, again, let me know in the comments. I want to know specifically regarding this, like, that type of setup in the defense, I think it would be perfect, because then you're getting money for Luis Enrique. You don't need to buy anyone. You can invest. You can trust in your youth. And exactly what you said, he's ready. He's more than ready.
Yeah.
Forget his age. He's ready. So
yeah,
it's good to see. I'm with you. Final few news, guys, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So first thing I want to talk about is these Inter ratings for FC27. I don't know what this is, man. I thought at first I saw a card where Lautaro was 89 rated, and then apparently he was 87 rated. I don't know what this is. Suchi 78, like Bonnie 78, Bissek 78. I don't know what this is, guys. I don't know what this is.
They don't watch games. Everything they do is based off statistics and the statistics of multiple years. So this is why they don't get players that have explosive seasons. They don't bump them up that quickly. It's just, it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
These
Still,
ratings.
A few of these cards are going to be good to Evo. If you guys play FIFA, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. Regardless, that's the ratings. They were leaked, but now they're official. And then this is the leak of a potential, the first render, right, of the new home shirt for the coming season, 27-28. I don't know why we're talking about this now, but it's out there. It's a first render. It's basically the same kit, but it's silver instead of gold, and also the sponsor. So, looks interesting. And then, finally, guys, Lautaro celebrates his birthday. Happy birthday. I think he turned 29. And, yeah, he did turn 29. And you can see Marcus Thuram and Djed Spence next to him celebrating. Djed Spence, he already got invited, bro. He's been there for 3 days, and he already got invited. So, good for him. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention. That's everything we have for the tweets, but yeah.
So I just wanted to point to everybody about the squad list. So if you guys want to go look it up, we do have the 4 youngsters, even though Topalovic has rumors about him leaving, but it's Topalovic, Idrisu, Bovio, and shoot, who am I missing? There's one more player in that list. Mosconi.
Thank you. Yeah, Bovio, Mosconi, Idrisu, and Topalovic, yeah.
Exactly. Those are the 4 that are included into Inter's senior team list. So basically they're a part of that, the youth players that can be called up list, basically, is what they are. That's what that is. And then in addition to that, one more bit of news about club ownership. Oak Tree have mentioned selling or opening bids to minority shareholders. What that means for the ownership of the club, it's kind of difficult to say if you sell a bunch of your ownership in minority pieces, because then it's going to seem like there's not anybody with a big piece of the pie. We'll see if that is good for Inter or if that's bad. But yeah, it just means that Oak Tree is open to that, to not being in control of the club anymore. So we'll see which players are, which big names, big money players are ready to come in for Inter and give a minority share. So
yeah, we'll have to wait for news for that, but I did see that article as well. So thank you for putting that out there. And then finally, guys, upcoming matches. Sean, you're the expert here. But before you say upcoming matches, I want to remind you guys the Champions League draw is on Thursday, 6 p.m. Central European time, 12 p.m. Eastern American time, right? And 11 a.m. for you, Sean. Just saying it, just for you personally, no one else. So yeah, that's
perfect. I needed that as well. I had forgotten about it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sneak your way out of work to go watch it. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting who the opponents are gonna be. We're obviously gonna cover it in the next podcast episode. But yeah, upcoming games, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So like we always do, we're gonna start with the women's team. Speaking of Champions League, they have, I believe, their first leg of Champions League qualification matches against Wolfsburg on Wednesday in the Women's Champions League. So keep a lookout for that. First leg of 2, I believe they only have to have one round of this Champions League qualification because they finished second, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know how many more rounds they have after this. I can't see into the future on SofaScore. So if anyone has more information on that, please leave a comment on it down below. And then on Sunday, they will play Napoli in the second game of the Women's Cup. The
Yes.
Primavera squad goes again on Saturday at 11 a.m. Central European time, early morning for us over here in the United States, against Empoli. The U23 team is going to be overshadowed by the senior team, but they play Altamura on Sunday at 9 p.m. Central European time, so 2 p.m. my time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Interplay Cagliari on Sunday at the 8:45, the night time frame, 8:45 p.m. Central European time. So, yeah, they're going to be playing U23 and the senior team going to be playing at the same time. Lovely.
No, they're
Thank
not.
you, FIGC.
They're
No?
playing Saturday and then Interplay Sunday.
The U23 is Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, and Interplay on Sunday.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure. I have it pulled up on FOTMOB right now. Maybe it's different, but maybe I'm
Okay.
wrong.
I
Maybe
have,
something's
yeah,
messed up.
SofaScore for me, it's the U23 is on Sunday and the Primavera is on Saturday.
Okay, maybe
But
the under
anyway,
23 team is wrong. I don't know. Regardless, they play on the weekend, guys. I'll try
yes,
to watch. I'll try to watch both, no
Altamura.
matter what.
Yeah.
Altamura, yeah, we'll see. But that's the upcomings. Thank you.
Mhm.
That is everything for today, guys. We are closing into almost an hour. Good episode. And again, sorry for the delay, but we will be back. Sorry, maybe after or before the Cagliari game. We'll see. Maybe a day before. But yeah, excited for the last few days of the transfer window because we basically have everything wrapped up. So we're just kind of looking to loan out a few youngsters. But yeah, we'll see you guys as always. Before I even say anything, let us know what you think in the comments down below on anything we talked about. Remember to share, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
now I can say it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Stay updated on the Twitter. Stay updated on Instagram if you don't use Twitter. And yeah, we will see you guys next week. And until then, Forza Inter.